Well, I'm better shape.
I'd like to call the order the Landfill Standing Committee for the City of Muskego and Advanced Disposal for October 5th, 2015 at 5 p.m. Secretary, please read the roll.
Mike Collins,
Here.
Mike Hackney, present. Greg Burmeister,
Here.
Rebecca Montano,
Here.
Eileen Madden,
Here.
Roland Kiefer, Patrick Murray, here. Mark Slocum,
Here.
Harvey Schweitzer, and Don Matika.
Here.
Statement of public notice.
Meeting was noticed in accordance with open records meeting laws.
Yep. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the August 3rd, 2015 meeting. I wish to move.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eileen seconds. Corrections, addition, discussion? I assume that a couple of you did not get the minutes yet, if you didn't get the mail yet.
Yep.
So there was some discussion last meeting about wanting a little bit more detail in the minutes. So it's pretty hard to discuss that right now because we don't have the minutes to, not everyone has the minutes to be able to go over, so I guess it'll be next meeting that we make any comments on that. Okay, upon hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes as submitted signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are accepted unanimously. Open forum. I don't see anyone here. Compliance officer report?
I've had, the only negative, I shouldn't say negative, the only repeating condition in landfill has been ditch cleaning and erosion repair. And normally, once we start making the comments, it's 90 days before it becomes an action item because it usually occurs when it's wet, it's hard to get on wet slopes. It's well within the 90 days, and they started doing the erosion repairs and so on last week. They did new ditch cleaning. The basins have plenty of freeboard, even though one was partially cleaned earlier this year. And other than that, all the other operations have been very smooth. They've had a lot of soils come in, they've all been covered dirt, so the soil cover on the waste is immaculate. I don't know if anybody's taken a look at pictures lately, but it's a very good example of how cover soil should be placed. There's no exposed garbage. It looks like the side of the hills waiting for the grass to grow.
And that's all from soils being brought in?
Correct. Yep.
Is that an expensive use of airspace, or is that okay?
Well, you'd rather always see MSW being used in the airspace, but provided you strip off the clay, like you should at the beginning of each day, that it's sufficient. You hate to fill up your airspace with clay.
Mm-hmm. What is, I'm just curious out of this, what is the amount of time that you would consider a break even in terms of time spent to remove and strip back clay versus leaving it there?
Well, they generally will spend a half hour each day, at the beginning of each day, removing the clay.
2 machines?
2 machines. Ideally, you should use a tarp, and we have one on site. But you spend a little more time putting that in place at the end of the day. But in the morning, it's a quick, you hook onto the straps and pull it right off, if provided you're going in that same spot.
Is that something you're going to be,
Yes,
Okay.
especially as the weather changes, we get into the winter months and fall and rain, stuff like that. That's where the tarp really, that's probably ideal times to use the tarp is during those conditions, weather conditions.
okay, so that's something you're gonna start transitioning to?
Yes, yep, this fall and winter.
Now, those soils, are they contaminated? Is that part of the landfill?
Right, yep, there's various types of contaminants in them, but low enough to where you can bury it in the garbage if you had to.
It's just not something that could go to a landfill site.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
And it's cost prohibitive to treat.
Yeah.
So like biosoils,
Yeah, that's separate.
they're not cost prohibitive to treat, but they can't be used in the landfill footprint until they have been processed.
Right.
This is like clean biosoil, that level of contamination.
Okay.
And when Mike's talking about stripped back, it's the face of the waste.
Mm-hmm.
So if he left it in place, he ends up with the preferential pathways and the lenses and so on that cause the seeds.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a choice.
Right, it's best management practices. And like I said, it has looked really good out there. I mean, tarps look fine when they're in place, but there's always a little around the edge. Auto fluff is a great daily cover, but they're not getting it anymore because the auto fluff industry's found a better way to get metals out. And auto fluff still looks rough. But I mean, this is like, going out to the soccer field and seeing they put up, a new berm, and
Mhm.
it just looks like it's dirt.
Good for your aerial photos.
Look nice.
Yeah.
What are they doing with all the foam rubber and all that stuff out of the shredder fluff?
I don't know, it's not coming here.
I mean, you got all the liners inside of vehicles, dashboards, all
That is auto fluff.
That is auto fluff. I
Yeah,
mean, there's-
that's what it is. 90% of it is the seat cushion material and things like that, you get
And
a
there's
mix
couple-
of other things. but-
There's a couple groups that have figured out how to make
Fuel?
fuel, not like generator fuel, not
Yeah.
vehicle fuel.
Right.
So they're
Paper mills and things
they're
like that.
sending it down to Kentucky. They're sending it far south by train, millers, but they're getting more metals out of it. That's the whole process. Is it goes down there, they process out the metals, and then I believe it's being bought as a fuel source, but I'm not positive. I do know that's where the work's
So
being
the
done.
processing is actually.
Further, it's being shipped to the processing plant. The auto fluff started to dwindle off before Mike even started, when Dave was the operations manager. So it's been a little over a year, maybe 2 years, that it dipped down, and now it's almost completely stopped. They get the occasional load. Before Dave left, he said he thought more was going to be coming, but never came to fruition.
Okay,
And I have a request.
go ahead.
So last year, the committee was nice enough to let me have the week of Christmas off for no audit. This year, I'd like to ask for the week of New Year's.
Instead or in addition to?
No, instead, just
Okay.
one week.
Just checking.
And I'm more than happy to start doing it in 3 audits a week to make up for it.
Yeah.
No, but if the committee can see fit to have JSA miss a week at the beginning of the year, that allows me to spend more time in Virginia.
We need a motion for
Probably a good idea.
that. That's so.
Seems-
I'll second.
Further discussion on the motion to not incur an audit during the first week of January? Now, January typically is 5 weeks.
Actually, even though we'll miss the audit, there'll still be 4 audits in January because January 1st is Friday.
Okay.
So it's actually the last week of December more than the first week of January.
Maybe we should,
The way I try to place it is, if I took the Christmas week off, I'd leave the week before, and I'd set it up to be back by Friday to do an audit, but the landfill won't be open. So it makes more sense to leave the week of Christmas and skip New Year's. But yeah, there'll still be four audits in January. still get 52 audits in, even though I miss a week, without cheating. It's just because it's, you know, by
53 Fridays.
yeah, it's more has to do with the actual months than the weeks, but yes,
So it's the week of December 28th.
correct.
Any further discussion? All hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
The motion passes unanimously. Anything else?
Nope.
Status of projects, clay extraction?
No clay extraction going on at this time, other than for daily cover.
Anything anticipated?
No, not until next year sometime.
Okay. So you're not hauling anything next door or any, no?
Nope.
Okay. Plan mod issues?
We had no plan modifications at all. Correspondence were none from our last meeting till present, so that was
Mhm.
August, right?
Yep.
The only thing we've had is the quarterly DNR inspection of the site. And the biggest thing that she had mentioned was some of the repairs that Joe had also mentioned, were some of the washouts from some of the heavier rain events that we've had. And we've been addressing those this past week and this week. So it's topsoil and seed.
Okay. You put anything down to try to hold it, matting?
No, we've just been sewing it in and that's it, with a little bit of straw.
A little bit of straw?
Right.
Your favorite part of the meeting?
Zip.
Well, I got you guys big sheets this time. I know everybody was not happy about how small they were last time.
Just
So I
put it
went
up on the wall, we'd be able to see
the
now.
whole time now.
Oh, Oh, I won't need these, I won't need these today.
Right? I think you guys have them.
No, couple more things.
Yeah, no,
Here we go. Well,
you got some.
Isn't it?
So I also
Nope, I still
emailed
need my
this-
glasses.
I also emailed it today so that you can have it included with the information online and that you can have it online. I just noted a few things that I thought were important.
did you email it to all the committee or?
Yep.
Did you, okay, thank you.
So everybody's got it and it's very good as well. So this is the same report that I'm gonna put out every month. I'll do a year over year, just to make sure we're on track for every time we meet. The first top table is year 2015. These are always gonna be year to date, but I'm January through August at this point. You can't see the months on the two top tables, which are comparing an overall summary of 15 to 14. And then when you go down to the second or the third and fourth tables, it breaks down everything, because what we really needed to do is figure out where our cost savings were being realized through the contract negotiations that we did last year and some of the hard decisions we made. So you'll see that, we've got 14 on the top and 15 on the bottom. And basically what it comes down to in an overall summary is the total costs are down 9%. And that's great. That total 9% cost savings actually equates to $20,000. So that's a little bit under what we had projected and hoped for, unfortunately. They do.
9%, only 20,000?
There's a 9% total cost savings, total program 14 over 15, yeah.
Okay, 'cause I thought we were spending about 340,000.
Remember, this is just January through August.
You're
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
You're right.
So we still have 4 months to go.
Yeah.
So again, we had projected a little bit more on the cost savings, and we were riding a little bit higher before August, but I'm still hopeful that things will be good. So the total costs were down 9% or 20,000. The total pounds are only down 2%, which is about 2,800 pounds. Participation is down 4.5%, which sounds worse than it is. It's only actually down 165 participants year over year. So that's not too bad. We're not seeing a major drop, which was one of our concerns. Specifically, the cost details, the cost per household is down almost 4.5%. The cost per pound is down 7%, which is about 11 cents per pound, which I'm very happy to see that. The labor is down 13%, and that's where we expected to see more substantial cost savings. Unfortunately, the incinerator site is causing me a little heartburn. I'm gonna keep working with Veolia on that, who I have to admit has been good to work with on it. The supply costs are really great. It's down 23%. So, you know, we're making some impacts because we also are really diligently watching our invoices and making sure that they're reference code to the state contract appropriately and requiring a little bit more detail in those. The treatment, blending, recycling, those three I averaged out to about 12%, they're down. The only problem is that incineration is up about 10%. I don't have any real reasonable explanation for that from BES, except it's just the materials that are coming in. So, and then the landfill fees, you'll see that those are up also because what we did do in the new contract or the amendment to the contract was we required them to do a separate reporting and documentation for it. So I believe in previous years we were getting invoiced, it wasn't being tracked. I mean, when I look back, I see it on the invoices, but not on the overall reports. So I'm just getting a little pickier because when I broke down costs, I found that it was $10,000 last year in landfill fees. So I wanted to make sure we were tracking it a little more appropriately.
Without the detail,
Right.
you don't know where we're at.
Right. So, you know, right now, I still feel like we're doing really well. If it was $10,000 in landfill fees last year, and we're only at $1,200 this year. So we're just tracking it a little bit better.
So basically, everything that we're seeing here is really due to your efforts, right?
I think the committee as a whole made some good decisions, and Veolia was a good partner in negotiating with me to understand the situation that the county and the committee were in, and I think it was overall a lot of.
Nobody else from the committee was talking with any of the vendors or anyone else. You were doing all that.
Yeah, it worked out well. I'm a little concerned yet when I look at projections, so before we get happy.
Why did Franklin go up?
Because remember, through the negotiations, some of the sites that hadn't seen any cost increases over, I believe it was a 5-year period, there was slight increases to their operating fees, so that went up, I think, $75 a month. The Menominee Falls site went up $75 a month, and then when we were trying to see the substantial cost savings, it was up to the incinerator site.
Yeah, but the Menominee Falls went down.
Because it's just the most effective operation. So the Franklin site, and I agreed with him, but since it opened at that site, they haven't raised the fees there. And so we agreed that it was a fair negotiation if we could do something better with the Waukesha site, which was killing us. So the hours
Double the people with this.
in Waukesha or in Franklin, it is seeing more action there, but it is still very expensive.
No, we almost cut it in half.
It's still very expensive. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
noted too that a few sites are over, so that one actually went up in their cost per pound, cost per household and cost per pound. Whereas the cost per household at Muskego also went up, but the cost per pound wasn't, it went down. So I mean, there's slight variations places. Franklin and Muskego are smaller sites, and when they're smaller sites, they're more expensive to operate.
Mhm.
But they serve the populations according to our, landfill.
For the incineration, the PCGs that come in have to go to Illinois. And unless there's bulk disposal in Illinois going on, like when they came down the river last year, the price of what they send, but the oil sends is really high. So that's probably, as far as I'm aware, there's no massive. So it would be individual pricing rather than bulk.
Oh, okay.
Where are the PCBs coming from for the EJW?
People that find ballast, people that have identified in their home and something else. Some idiot, they brought in the transformer. That was my favorite. They've got a box. They lifted up the lid on the box for me, and there's a transformer that somebody partially took apart. And so that's no longer an industrial waste. It got processed by the HHW program.
Because it was found
Yeah.
at a residential property.
Sure,
So.
sure.
It's minor, but I mean,
It is, but it's
that's
expensive.
the way to get rid of them.
Right.
Throw it in the fire.
But
So it's going to the Chicago Center.
Actually, it's probably going to.
Champaign.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chicago incinerator gets a lot of flack when it fires up, so it's gonna
Yeah.
make big bucks if it's gonna run. Because everybody's convinced it's, did you ever see, it's where the dead crawl out of the ground and start eating people? Night of the Living Dead, the first one.
Oh, I
When
missed
it
it.
rains and the
I
stuff,
missed
the
it,
stuff
yeah.
rinses back down to the ground. Somebody who was against
I was
the
getting a
incinerator
haircut.
modified that film so that you could see the PCBs and the rainwater coming back down and use the, clip from that film. So the Chicago incinerator only gets fired up when it's gonna make big money for the surrounding area.
That's the one in Story Island, right?
Mhm.
I assume that when they run those incinerators, that they're running them hot enough so that they're breaking down PCBs.
99.9.
I hope it's better than that. I hope.
Well, and they got scrubbers.
6 things.
They got scrubbers. And the ash goes to a regulated site. It's not fly ash. It won't come back to be used on roads or anything like that. But I know those prices really went up this year.
So the biggest source of PCBs is fluorescent light valve?
No, I'm sorry, fluorescent, the really big valves. They're little squares.
The big ones, you got
Yeah.
the big bricks,
Yeah.
yeah.
So with that, we are, again, a little bit under what I was projecting cost savings. We are sitting at a budget remaining of approximately $92,000, a little bit less than that for 4 months. So to break it down, last year, September to December, it was about $112,000. And it was averaging about a $28,000 per month fee. So what I projected was that if we, with the 9% cost savings that we've averaged from January through August, I projected them into a $10,000 estimated savings, put that across the 4 months. I estimated another $5,000 in savings from December last year because Muskego was still open December last year, but it will not be this year. So I added that to the cost savings, estimated a $15,000 cost saving. I'm hoping we get it around 96,000, 97,000, which means we're still projected potentially to go over the approved budget. Total approved budget for the program is $311,000. So I don't have an answer right now about anything. What I can tell you is I have put in for more money for next year to cover that little gap that I anticipated could happen. I don't have that cover or protection this year. So I guess my best thing that I can tell you is if it's $5,000, I don't think I have a problem covering it. But if it's gonna be, we're talking 10, 15, I'm gonna start getting flack for that. So I will keep you posted if once we hit September, October, and there's substantial costs in those months. But I'm feeling fairly confident. I'll say right now, I'm feeling 70% confident that we are gonna be okay, and for $5,000, I'll eat it and avoid any closure, meter disruptions. When we start riding over that $5,000 overage, we're gonna have to start considering some options. So that is all I have for you guys, and I'll keep you posted. It looks like September was a low month, so fingers crossed, we can stay low for a few months and under average.
Thanks for making it readable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is better?
Yeah, I can see this. I brought my glasses just in case, but before I had no chance even with my glasses.
No, that's understandable, and I can do some other things. I also, I can do something like this instead of big,
This is fine.
Okay, I just figured you want all the numbers instead of just the summary, so. Okay,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Any other questions, comments? Electronic recycling?
It's going well. A lot of it. A lot of TVs, a lot of monitors. So they're filling that container weekly.
It's getting pretty expensive.
I
I can
bet.
tell you that the county is in negotiations with a new vendor to provide event type collection services for participating municipalities, and we'll be coming back to the municipalities to ask which months they want to have events, how many, and then we're going to see if the vendor can accommodate those. And that's going to be a net neutral cost. The county will contract if it's on municipal property. We'll have to see what indemnification we need, go from there. But the county is currently negotiating just for our standard contract, and then we'll negotiate the events that will start next year. We won't be able to do anything this year, but the events will start next year. So I should be in touch with you within the next couple weeks. We're very close on contract.
So those special events that saves money?
Well, it doesn't necessarily save money. What it does is it pushes the cost back onto the consumer. So instead of the city being responsible for the cost of disposal for the TVs, et cetera, basically it says, it'll cost you $10 or $20 to bring your TV in.
Oh.
And so it keeps it cost neutral for the municipality, and there's no burden to the taxpayers. It's the consumer, the homeowner who has the product that needs to properly dispose of it. It becomes their responsibility to pay for it. And that model seems to be working well. It seems to be the most feasible model for most of the municipalities because of the cost of electronics recycling at this stage of the game. So it's anywhere from 8 to 35 cents a pound, not including transportation, which can become another several $1,000s a month with rentals and transport, depending on how many pickups you have. So maybe we were estimating low balls for smaller communities at just a few thousand, to some of our larger communities upwards of $40,000 a year with a competitive company bid, so it's not cheap anymore, and it's not going to be free until the gap at the state level gets fixed, and that will take a change in legislation, which is not easy. So it's in statute, so.
Yeah, it's another unfunded
Mandate,
mandate.
correct.
How bad is
Is it
the
about 40?
city getting hurt on this?
Anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. When it's real high. Some we've only had 1,500. So probably an average of 2,000.
And that's about even just through competitive process with 8 municipalities and the county, we were roughly getting those same costs.
We did have the event on September 12th. We had 526 cars come in. That was advertised countywide though, so, and they didn't have time to write down who was from Muskego or not, but no cost to us, as Rebecca mentioned. They charged $15 a TV, everything else was free, other than TVs and monitors. They had 38,000 pounds of electronics collected, and 276 white good, and most of those were dehumidifiers, microwaves, refrigerators, things like that dropped off. And that vendors were Virgin Depot. They did that at no cost to us. We were able to recover the 3 on whatever they do, they were able to make money on it. So
Oh, yeah.
no cost thing for us.
It's $200-300 a pound right now for 12.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
So there's definitely a need. We had the one we had in May was 173 white goods. The one in September was 276 white goods. So the drop off actually increased. They offer a hostel site here. I mentioned they needed Mike. He's going to think about it, talk to his people to see if that would be something they'd be interested in doing or not. Just with that, if there's interest, we'd probably talk about it in committee here and see if that's something we want to do or not. Offer white good drop off.
On a permanent basis, or?
The companies offer a 5-year contract, a no-cost 5-year contract. The problem would be is if that contract were up and there's no vendor, then we've got people used to have white goods, and now we gotta pay someone. So that would be the rub.
What are white goods?
Refrigerators.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Dehumidifiers, it's a big one. I think a lot of people have dehumidifiers laying around.
No, they don't last very long, so.
Right, they kind of made to expire, I suppose.
I was confused because they're stainless steel.
Just like those refrigerators.
Window air conditioners is one.
They're white underneath.
Oh.
23, but 23. 125
I have one dehumidifier, it's brown.
23 refrigerators.
That's not accepted.
What do I do with that?
Well, they have no other option.
I paid it.
They can be picked up by a hauler or taken to another they're a private company, it's $25 to $50 to dispose of the dehumidifiers, so.
And we're under current negotiations with a contract, it's free pickup still,
For you
so.
guys?
it's Muskego. So I don't know if it'd be that big of a draw for people here, but maybe they don't wanna bother calling for a pickup for a dehumidifier, they'd probably rather just drop it off, maybe, I don't know. Prefer to deal with these smaller goods, I'm sure the refrigerator will call to get it picked up.
Yeah.
I think people just like to be able to drop things off and not have them sit on the curb.
Yeah, people just like events.
Can't you get,
Events.
can't you get 9 or 10 cents a pound for all the metals dropped off here? White goods?
You mean something that you could throw in a metal container? Other than refrigerators, freezers, things like that?
Yeah.
You could, but we never wanted to start that whole mess of collecting some things and not others. I dealt with it in the past.
Okay, what's Waukesha Recycling paying for?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because they might even provide the box.
Well, this refrigerant depot will actually come pick it up here. I mean, they would, they said actually it's better just leave it on the ground. They,
Is it
so
down?
get damaged, throwing it in the bin, they would pick it up off the ground.
Okay.
Otherwise, they say people chuck them in and things get,
Oh, yeah.
there's a risk you risk the
Cars,
refrigerant
even
becoming
at
a leak,
jobs, not
that
going
is bad, so
200.
you don't wanna have a bin for any of the refrigerant.
But it used to be
And they're
350 before,
really,
even
their
pieces.
reputation has grown
Get it for
substantially
scrap.
with municipalities as of the last few years.
Through the auction
Contracts
block.
with Brookfield,
Then
several larger municipalities,
sort of under
Cedarburg,
some places
Whitefish
like-
Bay, so they're a very reputable company. They will be one of the companies the county will also contract with, so the events will be dual events, electronics and white goods, with Legacy and Refrigerant Depot as well.
Property protection, sociological program, anything, Mike?
I think we're at our limit for the year for property
How's
value
that?
guarantees, it's 5.
5 a year.
So I'm sure we are right there, because they've been coming in left and right within the last month and a half. I don't know why, but they have.
Did you just buy Mortis's?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Really, somebody must have his signs down.
So, once they reach that 120 days, then we're involved.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're actually involved before that,
Oh,
because
yeah, from the start.
you gotta give them the okay
Right.
to proceed ahead.
Right.
Are you guys still planning on tearing down? There've been a
Yes.
lot of people on 8 Mile, that's why I was asking. A lot of people driving back there. I was just curious if something was going on.
No, I mean, yeah, we plan on tearing it down.
Okay.
Yep.
Well testing, well water protection,
All good?
all good.
Yep.
New business, I have nothing, but you'll notice that the agenda's been modified a little bit. We removed the police firing range, because that's over and put to bed. We also removed the MSD project, because that project is really over and done. But I think as a committee, we ought to be looking at gas monitoring or something along that lines. And it may be nothing more than just getting a 30-second report from Mike every meeting. But really, to keep us in touch with the status of how that gas collection is going, just so that we're aware of it, whether you're having, lots of breakdowns, whether MSD is having problems, any of those kind of things. Whether weather is being an issue, if there has been a new process put in place that has eliminated the moisture issue, I don't know.
So
Maybe they're thinking
are you
of-
just looking for like a gas plant update Every time we meet?
Yeah. 30 seconds, maybe, it doesn't have to be much, if everything is going well.
Right.
But if you're gonna be making modifications, we'd like to know ahead of time if at all possible. Obviously, breakdown maintenance, understood.
We can do that.
But if, you know, if something at MMSD is interrupting your ability to deliver,
35%.
I'd like to know that.
Okay.
I got something for you too. I noticed this, I've been getting a lot of phone calls from people complaining about the trail having all kinds of trash on it, on the trail for the electric company over on 36. And I noticed when I went by there looking at it that there's this sign there that says adopt a highway, Superior Emerald Park landfill. Or adopt a trail, I'm sorry. So,
We adopt
Yeah.
the trail?
yeah, you guys, well,
During
when you,
Dean
yeah,
Kramer's time.
yes,
Your picture's on
yes,
that. I mean, it's on there,
yes,
Is it?
and it's,
not Mike's.
Ghost is
picture.
dead.
yeah, it's still there, so
Maybe we
people are
will switch it
going,
back.
why aren't they taking care of this trail? They
Is it the
bought
walking,
Superior.
biking trail? That
Yes.
one? That runs
Yes.
along 36?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never knew that we adopted it.
Look at the sign.
Yep,
I couldn't even tell you where the sign is.
it's right
Right
on
on-
45 and 36.
Is it really?
Yep.
Yeah.
You sure it carried over in the acquisition?
That must have.
I figured you missed that.
By the way, if you do start patrolling it now, which I assume you're going to, make sure you're going on the trail with a company vehicle.
Is it wide enough?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's no railroad.
Yes.
Oh. And we have permission to do that?
Yes.
You adopted it.
Yeah,
You just
We're doing
didn't know
the
it.
maintenance.
you're the father.
For doing the maintenance, the
Mhm.
cleanup, yes, you can use a vehicle to.
Because next you'll get a complaint, there's some guy driving down a
Nope.
trail in a pickup
We
truck.
won't.
That's why it's gotta have MMSD.
I'm not picking up any dog waste.
No, but that's why it needs to be a company vehicle with the name on the side.
And you- yeah, and you
we
might
don't
wanna
need to
s-
see a.
Might want to
Well,
spruce up the sign because it's kind of dingy looking.
Is it right up here at the corner?
It's,
Right
yeah,
on
right on the corner of
36 and
36 and Double O.
Yeah,
Dog waste help.
And it's the trail, not the road.
It's the trail, not the
Yeah.
road. When you drive by tonight, you just look over, it's a white sign,
it's green.
it's, well, the lettering is green.
Well, and how far?
Yeah, how far
is
down
he supposed to
36?
clean up here?
Burlington. Till you come to the next sign.
Till you find somebody else.
So it says.
Or you put a sign up, this is adopted by somebody else.
Right.
You don't have any waste management.
So where are the city limits on 36? They must, you must.
It-
Dam road, basically?
Yeah,
Dam road?
yeah.
No.
It's actually the canal, but
There's, yeah,
There's a bridge over the canal, it's past the dam road.
Yeah.
Where it ends.
surprise.
Just today, I got a letter from Douglas Pipeline Company. And they're just saying that they run the pipeline down to MMSD.
Oh.
And it just says what to do if you got a leak, how you can tell where the pipeline's located. What to do if you're digging and disturb the pipeline.
Run.
Then they have the 811 on the side, like you should have done before, and what they will do during an emergency, and then they have kind of an aerial that shows the pipeline.
path.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever seen one of those.
you guys aren't putting odorants or mercaptans in the gas, are you? Oh, you are?
They have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember last time you made the comment that you could smell it a little bit?
Yep.
Yeah, we have to add it.
They're the O&M contractor.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
So you got it as a board member, or you got it as a citizen?
I got it as a current resident,
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's a Franklin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
because I live near 36.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm assuming.
Because they know he likes to dig.
So that's that.
Continuing business, we have none. Other business, review payments made from committee funds. Do you have anything for us there? Or was it attached to the packet?
Funds attached,
Nothing-
ordinary.
Nothing out of line?
Just have a question, administrative charges, is that you?
No. We're paid out of the general fund.
Oh, okay.
Administrative charges is an overhead that is applied to pay for clerical accounting support and all those other things that pay the bills and
Okay.
all that kind of stuff.
Just wasn't certain.
Yep, fine. Confirm the next meeting date?
I have Tuesday, December 8th.
So,
Right, that's just the last meeting.
Yeah.
Instead of the Monday.
Yes.
Assume how many players has to done.
No, because that is the,
Because you get back from deer hunting on Monday?
the travel day.
we have gone past the first Monday of the month, back on the first. And so, it used to be we would have meeting conflicts once we got into the second week of any month. You know, we take a look at it for next year and see. But you're right, it all has to do with deer hunting and.
That's right, we rearranged it for opening day too, so it's okay.
Well, last year, what that accommodates is muzzle loading, because deer gun is all closed up by that time. And we got, my wife and I got zilch during deer gun.
You muscle
But-
eating.
Muzzle loading on Wednesday, she got one.
Oh, okay.
So Tuesday, December 8th will interfere with a city meet with,
Yeah, like a
Council meeting.
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Do we wanna change that?
There could be some things on it that you want to be there for.
Right,
And I don't need to be there.
Right.
And then what's on,
Right now,
Wednesdays usually there's no city meetings.
right, Wednesdays.
If you want to do that the 9th instead of Wednesday.
okay, the other option is that we could cancel that meeting if the members, think that's acceptable.
And then the next meeting would be February?
Yes.
Well, we might want to have that meeting and see how these numbers are shaping up with Rebecca's.
Oh, you
If there's
would,
a problem, we're gonna have to do something before that meeting anyways.
Right.
So if there's a problem, I'll be emailing you before that meeting saying, either we need to have a special meeting, or I need permission to, well, and I guess I don't necessarily need permission, but I'd like consensus if there were changes to be made because of budget issues with the program.
Yeah, and I think that basically we're talking about a shutdown, December, for example.
We would, but I would avoid it at all costs. There could be potential that we'd have to do something in November, and that's what I'm more concerned about. I mean, December, we've already shut everything down except for Monopoly Falls. So my hope is to keep the overage under enough control that I can again, if something were to happen, I'm gonna know in the beginning of November, we're out of money, we're gonna have to close 2 weeks, or, something like that. We're gonna have to shut down. And with the holidays falling the way they do, it's, that might be another saving grace for us with Thanksgiving and just shutting down all the sites for that weekend. So, we could be saved by just those simple changes of shutting down for all holidays, shutting all sites down for all holiday weekends. So, again, we'd have to make a decision before that meeting. We'd likely have to shake out as soon as October comes in. And make, as soon as October comes in, which would be early November. Which doesn't give us a lot of time, which is why I want to avoid it.
Well, the other thing is, we can put a meeting in the beginning of November and not have one in December.
Well, here's my thought, is if September comes in and it's under the average, then I'm not concerned. September was always the high month, because we have a mobile in September. So why don't you let's wait until I get September reports, which probably will come late this week or early next week. Once I get September reports, let me see where we're at.
When is Thanksgiving, the 26th?
Yeah, so it would be that whole week, which I believe is the 4th week. So several sites that operate on 4th weeks will be shut down. That could save us $6,000 right there.
So what if we had a meeting like the middle of November?
Well,
Or
I'm saying
if we needed one? You say we might not need one.
we might not,
Well, why don't we just schedule for February, skip December,
right?
schedule for February, and then if we hear from you,
If
then
we
we'll
have to
have
have a
that meeting
meeting,
in
we'll have to figure it
November.
out. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Works.
And what I can do is I could put out a projection, like I said, once I get September, I could say, I'm feeling confident, I can go to my boss and maybe get more approval or confirmation on this year, so.
If it looks like we're gonna need to get together, send everyone in the committee an email, and between Eileen and I and Dave, we'll hammer out when it'll be.
Mhm.
But at least all the other committee members will be aware that we're gonna have to meet.
Something's up.
Okay.
Something's up.
So then the first Monday of February is actually February 1st.
Right.
So that would be, I assume the date we want to go for then? February 1st?
Yep.
Yeah. So tentatively, the December meeting is canceled.
Right,
correct?
right.
You're not hearing a lot of high fives over that.
We'll stick with the 5 o'clock start unless there's a tour, correct?
It's really up to the convenience of the members. Those, if the members can be here at 4:30, we can start at 4:30 if that works out for Dave,
We can do whatever.
okay?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay? Rebecca,
And again, it's fine with me, sometimes earlier I avoid the traffic on 164. Which
So-
isn't fair. I don't mind. either way.
would we like to back this thing up to 4:30 or 4 o'clock? I mean,
It's all right.
Was Rolly, did he have a problem with the earlier meeting? I
Rolly
think
did with the
we-
traffic.
With
Mhm.
traffic
you
and.
know, it's not traffic. It's
Oh, that's what he said.
commitment.
Okay. That's what he said.
No, I'm not.
I mean, yeah, so either I'm fine either
So you working guys okay with that?
4:30 is fine. I don't,
Okay.
that's what works for me.
4:30?
Sure, that works for me.
I'm with
Okay.
you.
On February 1st.
And so tentatively, we will be running them all at 4:30.
We're gonna, 2015 now, we're 16, we're gonna do, we'll
2016,
be at 4:30, okay.
Okay.
way. Will we still only stick with 4 if we have a tour? Right, that would still be acceptable? Okay.
yes.
And there's less, technically landfill's bigger, but there's less to see, because all the phases are in one location. or working,
Any other communications, business as authorized, allowable by law? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:50 PM. Pardon me? Now they're all pumped up?
Second.